Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for our monthly Patreon one-shots. This has been a long-awaited follow-up episode. This is Winter Whispers Part 2 from our Glenbrook Chronicles. Definitely not a campaign series. Glenbrook Chronicles Part 1 happened 6 months ago, and the previous Glenbrook Chronicles episode took place almost 1 year prior to that, or something along those lines, another 6 or so months prior to that. It was a long time. It was quite a bit of time between We All Fall Down and Winter Whispers Part 1, and another 6 months before Winter Whispers Part 2. We are here. As Chris
Well,
has
We
said,
All Fall Down wasn't the last one. It was Fish in a Barrel.
Oh yeah, Fish in a Barrel. That was one of my favorite named.
Doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
It didn't make any sense. It was just titled to annoy you, and it still to this day works. God damn it. All right, cool. If you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by coming to see me at PAX. But seriously, that would be cool. We will be at PAX. In fact, I think everyone in this call will be at PAX this next week.
Yep.
So come check us out, come hang out, come do the stuff. But if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel for realsies, then put your money where your mouth is. Join us over on Patreon. Link for that down below. While you're down there clicking on that link, join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, during our live streams, you can support us by tipping into that bar in the bottom right-hand corner. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I unleash terrible, horrible things onto these unsuspecting... Actually, they're very suspecting players at this point in time. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel to do all kinds of things like lighting and things and props and costumes and buy better quality things and hiring people and my mortgage. So all important things. So with that and without further ado, the year is 1986. If you recall. The place, New England, more specifically Rhode Island, the home of Mercy Brown, America's first vampire, the site of many dark and lurid tales from the mind of HP Lovecraft, and the home of the infamously haunted Perron Family, and now the site of one of the largest government research facilities in the world, the Loop. This is a bit of a recap from the last episode. After a large nor'easter struck Glenbrook in November, leading to severe property damage, including the abandoned Johnson residence, and loss of life, including the young William Duncan, the town began to rebuild and return to normal with the continued partnership of the Loop and the DPW, even going so far as to organize a Christmas village to support local business. Winter break has come and gone. The town of Glenbrook has marched on with the beat of time. As life seemingly returns to normal, whispers of inexplicable phenomena and spectral lights sweep through the town. On the last episode, a strange package arrived at the door of the abandoned mill. This contained a remote control that had some cryptic alien-ish writing on the interior, which was found out to be Universal Basic, the language used in Star Wars. A quick jaunt to the appropriately named C video, which Mike has blacked out for this moment right here, revealed that the last person to have checked out the Star Wars movie was one Mr. O'Rourke. After gaining this information, the group
We didn't gain that information.
Well, surprise, it's in my notes, and it was 6 months ago, so...
Wow. Wow, I'm writing this down.
My notes say, if they investigate this, they learn this, and I just assumed you did that. Turns out you must not have done any investigation and just fucked off.
You give us way too much credit.
Yeah. Turns out, after finding this information, allegedly, they headed to the destroyed Johnson residence, who the town believes had caught fire in the nor'easter, the snowstorm squall, some sort of power line situation. After arriving there, they found everything was destroyed, be it fire, destruction, trees falling, etc., all but a semi-new television screen. that was hooked up, and upon turning it on, it loaded up to a video game. One game called Karate: Way of the Fist, where they saw a fully intact, seemingly alive Billy Duncan as one of the playable characters. A conversation ensued, and Billy seems to think it is still October 11th. And for all of you recalling what happened on October 11th, that was the day of the episode Virtually There, where they had won a Nintendo Entertainment System, and it was the last known time that Billy Duncan was seen.
Did they get the prize?
They did get the
Then
prize.
they won.
Yeah,
That,
Danny
they
ruled
won.
like 4 successes for his shooting that day.
He did win. So I'll say this: Danny won the tournament,
Yeah.
and the prize was a Nintendo Entertainment System. And
Yeah.
then all of you got banned from the store, which would kind of
No.
cancel out. I think.
Rossi stayed
win's a win.
behind and cooked the books
Yeah,
so he could walk home with the NES
Yeah,
and
yeah.
give it to Danny.
banned. You guys spoke with Billy Duncan, and you have found out that you can manipulate the TV as if you are manipulating a camera in whatever virtual room he appears to be in. You have all decided to head back towards the Radio Shack, while one of you carries the television, and Fish has told Billy Duncan to follow them. So we'll cut back in to a wintry, snowy Glenbrook on Saturday, January 25th, 1986, as the four of you, bicycles, skateboards, etc., have a television, all your normal ill-gotten gains, a television, a Magnavox remote control, and are headed in the direction of the Radio Shack.
Yeah, I think we used the bungee cord that JoJo sometimes uses for sketching on her bike to wrap the TV to her bike.
I have never heard you mention that you use a bungee cord for sketching, and
Yeah, we
using
did.
using a bungee cord for sketching sounds like exactly how someone who's never done that before would think it would be done. You would get the worst whiplash if you bungee corded yourself to a car.
That
You
was
just
the
see
joke. We take a
yo-yoing
corner and he
everywhere.
goes, "Wow."
Yeah, snaps.
Yeah. Oddly enough, he hardly ever uses it. I'm like, why don't you use the bungee cord? And JoJo would be like,
Yeah, perfect.
because he's so
Um,
smart.
Hooks it to the bicycle.
Uh,
Absolutely.
The
So yeah,
problem was the
four-
first time they tried it, he actually hooked it to one of the wheels. That ended poorly.
yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
everyone ate it. Perfect. So
We don't talk about that.
The four of you, or four and a half of you, are together, leaving the burnt down, snow-covered, destroyed Johnson residence. How are you getting to the Radio Shack? Is there a modicum of stealth? Are you just charging through town? Are you doing bicycle mimes? How are we getting there?
I don't know what bicycle mines are. Surprisingly, Dee Dee, she's still there when the kids exit the house, and that's because she's waiting there on her bike. And as Shane exits, she looks at him and she says, "I challenge you, Racer X, just you and me. The ultimate test of skill and speed. Winner takes it all." And then she's zoom on the way to the Radio Shack.
No concept of fear or danger.
Or stealth. What's
Or
stealth?
stealth, yeah.
or something with mines and bikes. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why do we need stealth?
I turned to Fish and JoJo and I just kind of smile and shake my head and shrug my shoulders, say, "You gotta love her, or else you'd want to kill her." And he gets on his bike and
Now,
to the Radio Shack, my friends.
I have a question, specifically for Dee Dee. Actually, specifically for Melissa. Melissa, does Dee Dee know where she's going?
She knows. I think she knows where she's going. I think she drives around the town quite a bit. But remind me, Dee Dee's first encounter with adventure, wasn't that at the Radio Shack?
It was.
Wasn't that?
That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Right. Yeah. So I think, yeah, she knows.
Okay, cool.
She has no fear.
Yeah, well, we've learned that. What I will say is, though this is Melissa's second official on-camera foray into the world of Glenbrook. This is hers and Dee Dee's third step into the Glenbrook. The first one was an episode that was not aired on your local syndicated television network. But it did revolve around the Radio Shack. So Dee Dee, whether it strikes you as odd at all, you're not entirely sure. But here in this month, you have been to this Radio Shack. This will be the second time now. On top of that, strangely enough, you know that it's completely abandoned. In fact, the entire mall area is gutted. There's nothing in there. All of the stores, not just the Radio Shack, they're completely gutted. There is nothing in here to find. And as you are peddling your heart out towards this Radio Shack, you recall. Let me see. Let me check the date here. Actually, it was just a couple days ago. Today's the 25th, and this situation happened the weekend of the 17th through the 20th, where you saw strange, shadowy figures, and you followed them here, and you guys broke into a Radio Shack, and you found a weird secret basement, and then one of your friends, you found like some sort of technological device, and then one of your friends exploded it with some M80s. It was a whole time. And you find yourself headed back there, strangely enough. And it doesn't seem like any of your current companions have any idea of what the hell's happening. So you race your heart out. What I want is Shane. I want a move check.
Sure.
One success is all it takes to keep pace with Dee Dee and not lose her completely. 2 successes and you can overtake Dee Dee.
2 successes.
Okay, you can overtake Dee Dee. She automatically succeeds because of who she is. Sprints out the gate. You begin chasing her, leaving JoJo and Fish in the proverbial dust. Really, the snow frost that sort of gets there. But Shane, you can overtake Dee Dee if you so choose and arrive at the Radio Shack first. So we'll play out Dee Dee and Shane first.
So what I'm going to do is Shane's going to catch up and kind of, seesaw back and forth, speeding up and slowing down whoever's in the lead to just kind of make it more exciting for Dee Dee. And then as we get to the Radio Shack, he will fall slightly behind so that she wins, but not by much.
Perfect.
Yeah, Dee Dee's totally going to fall for that because she knows she's a winner. She has all sorts of confidence in that. There's no question. I think along the way, though, in between shade call outs about, how his terrible driving, Dee Dee's also going to be telling the story of, I guess you said it was about a week ago. Is that right?
Yeah, about a week ago.
It was about a week ago, except completely out of order and in such a way that Shane really would question, okay, is this some more weird loop stuff or is Dee Dee just making this shit up?
Wait, I apologize. I spaced out at the wrong moment. This is the story about the secret basement?
Yeah, so
Shane was there.
Shane was not there. Dee Dee, Jessica, Mickey, Donald, and Charlie were there. Which none of those is Shane.
This is an
So Shane, you know of the sub basement in Radio Shack because you were there for something different.
Got it. Okay.
Dee Dee, who should not know that there is a sub basement in a Radio Shack, is telling
general
you.
Principle.
Is telling you that there is a sub basement in the Radio Shack. A summation of what happened is about a week ago, while playing with some friends from the local middle school, and possibly a stoner. They were at a park and a strange fog rolled in. You'll remember a strange fog that sort of overtook the town, but weird things happened in Glenbrook. About a week ago, a strange fog overtook the town, and according to Dee Dee, there was a very mundane fog. And that is the origin of the off-camera mundane joke that still haunts me to this day. In the woods, they began to see shadows that vaguely looked like people. With bright yellow eyes that sort of followed. So they went to go search these out and find these people and figure things out. Ultimately, the people seemed to be nonviolent towards them. These shadow things didn't seem to harm them, but they somehow tracked it back to to town that this is where the fog was seeming like generating from. It seemed to not like roll in from the forest, but rolled out of the town. After stealing a bunch of things from a local grocery store, seemingly nobody was around in the town. There were no people. There was no traffic, no nothing. The whole town seemed like it had been paused. They made their way to the Radio Shack, where they found the entire strip mall completely abandoned. Breaking in, they found a sub-basement in the Radio Shack and recent construction to seal off what seems to have been breakages in the other basements under the place. Like somebody had expanded that basement you found into the underneath of other stores, and a false wall that hid a bunch of science notes and a science machine that had a bunch of lights on it, to which her and all of her friends kicked the shit out of, and one of their friends exploded it with an M80. So whether that sounds like a real story or the latest episode of some cartoon that Dee Dee plays on repeat in her head, you're not entirely sure, but that is the gist of it, all out of order. She gives it to you, so not in that chronology that I gave you.
She says, "Pew, pew, 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 pew. It exploded, and then I smoked a cigarette."
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it was great.
No. Just no. You know there are very few things that I tell you you should never ever do, right? I'm the fun cousin, right?
I shouldn't explode places?
Okay, there are two things here that you should never ever do. Don't explode places and don't smoke. Okay? Please.
Okay. Hey, can we go inside again?
Let's wait for the other two slowpokes.
We're still at the trailer.
I promise you we will go in.
Sure.
I promise you we will look around. Let's just wait for Fish and JoJo, okay?
Okay. And then she's doing laps around the entire strip mall.
Gee, I appreciate that despite the number of times I've described JoJo's house, to this day you still think it's a trailer.
Well, I could have swore at one time it's like component / composite. Like one time it was described as a trailer. Like he lived in the trailer park.
No, I've always described it as like a red like townhouse with like a shitty wraparound porch.
Bad, no.
It's a house.
I call
in the shitty part of town.
bullshit
Yeah,
on that one.
it's a full-on house.
Okay, sure.
You have a Mandela effect where you just assume that
Yes.
it's
No,
a trailer.
I often slip into other universes all the time when my information doesn't correlate. So sure, a house.
I think all my notes are going to start with component video. They're all going to have that in bold at the top of them.
We'll just have to stop by compatible video. It's okay.
Compatible video.
Compatible video.
RCA. Anyway, so JoJo and Fish, you see Shane and Dee Dee just take off. Dee Dee thinking this is some sort of game, and Shane knowing it's not a game, but having to take care of Dee Dee. What are you two doing?
Well, I probably would have taken the TV and like put it on. I probably would have put it on the front of my bike and facing it to me so I can see Billy in the TV to make sure he's still with us, right? Because he has to walk with us to stay with us.
Yeah. Are you riding your bicycle?
Yeah, but I'm using the bungee cord to attach the TV to the thing.
All right. I won't fuck with you about that.
Why would you?
It's a 20-inch tube TV. It's
No, but you said
kind
it's
of
easy.
far.
You said it's small enough and light enough that one person could carry it. So
Yeah, carrying it and tying it to your handlebars are two very different things.
Fish is just wobbling
other
a little
option
bit
is-
more as she rides.
Teeters back and
You
forth.
could just put it on a skateboard and push it. JoJo does have a skateboard.
Or pull it like a jet ski. Or like
Use
a,
that
like
bungee
a,
cord and zip it around corners.
yeah. What could go
Slingshot.
wrong?
Right?
TV's just like every
Slingshot.
time we hit a corner. That's what takes us so long to catch up. So
Absolutely.
however we move the TV,
Cool.
then
This is probably the second time this day that the two of you have been alone together. Is there anything you are discussing, given everything that's gone on today so far?
JoJo wouldn't start any conversations.
Yeah, and I think as they're setting up the TV and getting ready to move out, they're not saying anything, but Fish is she keeps like glancing at him and like she's like she has like this very anxious vibe about her, like she's worried about him. And it's not until they start cycling that she would look over to him and be so I guess this means maybe what happened before didn't actually happen and he's okay.
I mean, it was his body, and he had nowhere else to go. And like almost as if he was covering the ears of someone, he puts his hands on either side of the TV and says, "He might still have nowhere to go."
Yeah.
Turn the volume down, thinking that it mutes this side of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's like when you're lost and you turn your radio down to see better.
Well, so if he's still at the Radio Shack, that means Rourke's somewhere around here too.
He thinks he's at the Radio Shack. He thinks it's October.
Yeah. That's messed up. Because no one's been able to find. That's correct, Mike. No one knows what happened to O'Rourke.
No, he disappeared.
Okay.
Well, so I will clarify. You're the only ones looking for him. He has disappeared.
Okay.
The story that you know about Billy Duncan is that he ran away, and he was living with an estranged relative, and that house was hit in the nor'easter and resulted in his death.
Okay. And I'm sorry. Can you remind us then, because the boys called 911.
They did, and the police arrived. Shane stayed there until the police arrived, and EMS took the body. So
yeah. So we never heard. There was nothing in the news about the body of Billy Duncan being discovered or anything like that. Okay. Just another thing the town is covering up. Are you okay?
He just nods.
You're still with me, right?
Always.
Okay.
I will say that you know that. Let me double check my dates here before I talk out of my butt. Early November, I believe the same day. So Saturday, November 2nd, which in the chronology is the day of All Fall Down and Fish in a Barrel. That is the nor'easter struck right around then. But no mention of the Radio Shack was ever put out in the news. So at a minimum, the Radio Shack is being covered up somehow. Much the same way that potentially JoJo's house is being covered up. But that only JoJo knows. So the two of you pedal and skate and carry your way to the Radio Shack, where you see what I assume is Shane looking tired and Dee Dee zooming in circles around him in the parking lot.
They won.
It's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hey, Dee Dee, they're here.
All right, let's go inside.
Okay, what? And so she's gonna look around. So she's probably been around here in her random investigations throughout the winter, and just so there's no more sign saying Radio Shack. The building's been completely gutted and refaced. Right?
Yeah, so what happens is this is like an L-shaped strip mall, right? So it's a large parking lot, and there were like 10 or so stores in here, one of which was a Radio Shack. There is no signage on any of the building. all of the buildings are completely empty. All of the places are empty, completely taken out. You see that everyone has that same sort of stock gray carpet. It looks like there have been repairs to walls. There's like fresh drywall on all the places. So everything looks like this is essentially a brand new strip mall ready for people to move in. There's no signage anywhere, and everything looks exactly the same. All glass windows, glass doors, etc. And you see everything looks normal here for a move-in ready strip mall.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and we don't know anything about Dee Dee being here before.
Shane does now, but no.
Okay. And she won't say anything then, and she's gonna look around like confused, not sure what she's supposed to do here, and then she's gonna undo the TV and hoist it up, and she's gonna be a little of a dick, and she'll like, dunk, dunk, dunk. You still there?
Ow, son of a bitch. Okay, super uncalled for. The ride over here.
Just checking.
Okay, where are we? What? Okay,
She's
look,
gonna.
You told me to follow you. I don't really understand what's happening.
She's gonna flip the TV so he can see. This is the Radio Shack.
No, that's an abandoned building,
Was.
or like a new is it new building? Are we getting a new mall?
It was renovated last month. The Radio Shack closed right after the hurricane. Hurricane.
Hurricane?
Sorry, nor'easter.
Hurricanes are windy and have lots of rain.
Yeah. The opposite of a tornado. Nothing like an earthquake. And she's gonna walk forward.
I hate this. She's fired.
So
God.
she's gonna hold it up.
Yeah, he looks to you and says, "Yeah, no, that's not the Radio Shack. Has a big sign that says Radio Shack on it. Like it's pretty."
And
obvious.
she's gonna put the TV back to her face, so her face is the thing. You think we told you that stuff is messed up now? It is not October. It is January 25th, 2023. 1986. 1986.
40
This is
years
what
in the future. No.
Yeah. No one got that old ever.
What are you kids talking about? What?
Like, do you understand what we're trying to tell you? And she's gonna put the TV
I'm
back.
Gonna be honest, I absolutely do not understand what you're trying to say. You're going to great lengths to explain this to me, so I feel like it's not some kind of a prank or some kind of dumb joke that I'm not in on, which would be shitty. But no, I full on don't understand what you're saying right now.
All fucked up.
So, while that's happening, Shane is going to go over to Dee Dee and say, okay, so, I mean, he's going to talk low, actually, so the other two don't actually hear this yet. Okay, so when you were here, how did you get in?
Mike, did we break in? Did we like unlock the door, or was it just open? I can't. It's been forever. Yeah, we just broke in.
Judging by the audacity in G's face, you guys broke in.
Okay, so
my character didn't.
Let me show you. And so she's going to go over to the door and try to reproduce breaking the lock.
Yeah. So it's a door. It's a store door. So the way they work is there's only like a handle on the outside and a big lock mechanism. So you can only lock them with the key from the outside, meaning that once you guys broke in, there was no physical way for you to lock it ever again, unless somebody was inside. So you walk over trying to show him how to break in, and you just straight up open the door.
Oh, shit. So she opens it, and then she's in.
She kicks it unnecessarily open.
Yeah, it opens out. She shatters it inside. So Jojo and Fish, you see Dee Dee confidently say, "Oh yeah, let me show you," and just opens the door to what was once the Radio Shack and just casually walks in like she's supposed to be there.
She's heading right for She's heading right for where the door was that had headed down to the basement.
Okay.
Is it still empty in here? Sorry, I should ask.
It is absolutely empty, the exact way you guys left it. What you had seen before was, I think there was like a sawhorse in there, as if somebody was like fixing some of the drywall or the ceiling tiles or something of the kind. But the sawhorse is missing because you brought it downstairs. So you see exactly how it was when you left. I think you see a popped open electrical panel there from when that was rigged open, and you see the stairs down because you guys left the hatch open.
All right. Well, she's heading down.
Jesus.
Fuck you.
The sawhouse.
A sawhorse.
Shane tosses back a quick "move it out" and then kind of runs after Dee Dee.
Yes, as they're walking, she's gonna lower her voice a little bit, just so she's not like trying to yell at Billy anymore. And she's like, "Everything's all messed up, Billy. I'm sorry I'm yelling at you, but things are messed up, okay? What do you remember what O'Rourke told you?"
Yeah, he told me to put this headset on and put this like body thing on and to stand here and wait for my next opponent so that I could win the tournament and then I could win.
And you said you saw us at the Radio Shack, like we talked to you?
No, I said I saw you guys there. There's a bunch of people there. Like everyone who's everyone was there. We win a brand new Nintendo. It hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
What do you mean?
Well, Danny won the tournament. It was a duck hunt tournament, and Danny literally shot everyone to death and won.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Look, the
Yes,
tournament.
he did.
No, shut up for a second. The tournament was Karate Way of the Fist. Why do you think I'm in Karate Way of the Fist? Like it's a whole thing.
She looks at JoJo. And then she looks back to Billy and shakes her head. No, it was duck hunt. I sucked at it.
Well, yeah, you're a girl. Girls suck at video games. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay. She hits the glass. Who's stuck in a TV now?
You are, from my perspective. Either
No,
way.
and she's gonna shake the TV.
He stays like he doesn't move around. It's not like Mike TV from Willy Wonka. But you shake the TV. So from his perspective, you're just looking at the TV and you're just going aggressively back and forth. He sees you through a TV essentially. Leslie, you're not
Got into the wrong game, you idiot.
I didn't get. Listen, okay, O'Rourke, the guy who owns the Radio Shack, told me. What?
We can't find
He's
him.
missing.
No one knows where he is. But
okay, well then come get me on this machine. Anyway, listen. What I was trying to say is he came to me and he said, "Hey, this machine that that I'm using for the tournament, you got to get into this. There's player 1, player 2. It's a whole thing, and we're playing this for the tournament." And so I said, "Okay, cool." And I got in, and it was like this contraption where I had to like buckle in, and I had like a headset on, and so it was pretty rad. And so here I am, and I guess like I have to use my fighting skills to like fight somebody else, and then you guys come in as player 2, and then I kick your ass, and then I win the tournament because I am the best at karate in this whole town.
You may have kicked my butt, but you wouldn't have kicked Danny's butt, okay? I remember the birthday party. He's not nerd. I almost said he's not Swedish. He's not a nerd. He's not like
that kid's a total dork.
Yeah, maybe you're just pissed off because he kicked your butt at your own birthday party, loser.
No, that sounds made up. I do remember, stupid ass JoJo stomping on my foot, and punching me in the nose, which is pretty uncool.
JoJo hits the side of the TV.
Ow! It's so loud. It's so loud.
Did that actually happen?
Yeah.
You did punch him in the face?
He
Okay.
broke his nose.
That was after the fact, though. But Danny's the one who actually got
Yeah.
the KO, wasn't it?
I think
Danny
so.
took him out
but-
when he was sitting on the platform.
Yeah, he was on top of the
ended
building.
the match,
Yeah.
and then afterwards he stood on Jojo's shoe, and Jojo punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, this is still suspicious. Okay. And then they're gonna carry the TV like inside and follow the others. I think Mr. O'Rourke tricked you. He's a bad guy. And
Seems all right.
apparently he's the last one who rented the Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's what helped us lead it led us to you.
Oh. Okay. I don't really understand what.
I don't know what that means either. But
Okay, cool.
It's
Okay, well,
as-
I can't really go anywhere. I'm in kind of in like a machine.
yeah.
So
And they're
As
gonna-
Fish starts walking, Jojo starts falling slowly behind.
she's gonna look back. Are you okay? Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, come on. She's gonna stop and like wait for him to catch up.
He would only be a few paces behind her, but when she gets through the door, he just stops in the doorway.
Jojo, come on. Need you. And she's gonna go and she's gonna put the TV down, clunk, on one of the sawhorses, and
fuck off.
and then she's gonna turn the TV away from the door, and she's gonna go over to Jojo. Come on. We can do this together. You're not alone.
All right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay. And she'll reach out and like take his hand.
He'll follow. When he gets to the TV, he lets go and he picks up the TV himself.
And then she'll lead the way to wherever Dee Dee and Shane went.
As he starts walking down the stairs, he whispers to the TV, "I hope I don't drop you again."
Like as a threat or as an apology?
As an apology more than a
Okay,
threat.
cool.
Jojo being nice.
I just had to make sure. You just hear like what? Yeah, you guys head through and you see a completely like strip mall. Everything is fresh drywall, a shitty gray carpet, like very thin padding under there, and it looks like if you just disappeared everything out of the Radio Shack. You head back, Fish. You know where the O'Rourke's office was, so you head back into that office, and you see an open trap door. And what are Shane and Dee Dee doing as the two of them walk in?
Dee Dee's already down the stairs.
I am following her because I kind of have to. I will, if I am able to take a moment and, see if there's any. I mean, obviously, other than the fact that it's been emptied out, anything out of the ordinary about O'Rourke's office from the last time I was here.
No, it's completely stripped
Just completely
of everything.
Barren. Okay.
Yep.
Is it burned or anything? There was explosions.
It is not burned.
There was like a trap door in here or something?
Yep, there's a trap
or
door
no,
that
we
leads
broke
down.
through it.
There's a
No,
trap
no.
door that leads to the basement.
No, so we're in the basement, but then there was a false wall.
Correct.
And then
you
we
did
broke
break
a
through.
hole?
Yes,
Okay. Is that hole still here?
it is.
All right. Well, then Dee Dee is like trying to go back to the scene of their prior crimes, right?
Okay.
So she wants to check out what's beyond the wall.
Okay, so Dee Dee disappears down here. Shane, you... I assume there's a moment of hesitation for Shane. You've been down there. The last time you were down there, you saw a corpse, which, might not be the best place you want to go back to.
Yeah.
But I assume, so Fish and JoJo, you arrive in the office. And Fish, to your surprise, there's a trap door in the ground of his office. that you had no knowledge of beforehand, other than what Shane and JoJo had told you about. This is your first time actually seeing the trapdoor open.
Yeah.
And Dee Dee is gone.
Shit.
She's somewhere inside.
Yeah. Holy shit. Rossi and I searched the office, but we didn't come near to this. And then she will point to the air vent. Is the air vent still there where she saw the little robot-y guy?
Yeah, all of the air vents are where they would
Yeah.
be. All the speakers are where they should be.
Yeah. And she points to the air vent that's by the door, the back door. That's where, in that vent, is where I saw that little robot contraption thing that seemed to be looking into the thing, like into the office. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say that as that conversation is starting to happen, Shane has so when the trapdoor opens, is it a set of steps? Is it a ladder? I
Yep,
don't remember.
It's a set of stairs.
Okay. So he is just far enough down the stairs that his head is still poking up, this far above the floor, so he can hear that conversation. But he's also, dipping his head down and trying to keep an eye on Dee Dee.
Okay.
Right. There's obviously been more than one incursion into this, so let's take it as we go, and we can compare notes later.
Yeah.
And then he turns and goes down the rest of the steps.
Yeah, it was kind of like I'm giving Billy the tours. Like, this area is where his desk was, and I stole all these manuals and all these notes from him, and he was very mad at the loop and stuff like that. And that's where the robot camera was placed, and it seemed to be watching him. But oh, look at this! This wasn't here before. This must be from. Then she trails off.
Yeah, if you're saying that this is the Radio Shack, if this is O'Rourke's office, this is where I would be, which is how I know that it's not the Radio Shack, but I would be here in this place with the whole headset thing on, and the gloves and the whole thing.
Down there, she will, with JoJo holding it, she'll angle the TV down. Down there,
No,
you went?
there's no basement in the Radio Shack. Doesn't make any sense why they need a basement for it.
Because he's an evil guy and he does evil things. All the adults in this town are evil. Mr. LaBelle is evil. Mr. O'Rourke is evil. The vice principal is a douche. And then evil.
Vice Principal Gleason? God.
Yeah. And that woman with the TV. Not the TV, sorry. The woman with the truck who took the cameras that were spying on us. She's evil. Everyone's evil.
You just don't like people?
That has nothing to do with it. JoJo's not evil. Shane's not evil. Dee Dee's not evil. You're kind of an ass, but you're not evil.
Yeah. Okay. You know that,
Anyway.
life's not a comic book, right?
I know that.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a movie either, like Elliot says. And then she will start making her way down.
Who the hell's Elliot?
Cool guy.
As JoJo walks behind, he looks down at the team and says, "How are you so dumb?"
What?
Yeah, you. How are you so dumb?
What is that? Well, what do you in what?
I mean, how many times do things need to be explained to you before you get it?
Okay, so you're trying to say that you guys, I don't know, traveled through time or something?
No, dude. You saw us walk the road. You walked with us. You know where the hell we are. You've lived in this town your whole life.
No,
you know where we are.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. What you're saying
Doesn't
is
need to
out
make
of a movie.
sense.
Well,
Doesn't need to make sense.
I don't really understand things that don't make sense. That's kind of how that works.
So thick.
Okay. I guess. Anyway, I can't really move anywhere until I get out of this machine. So.
And just to clarify, Mike, he said that he was in this room with all his gear on. Okay,
that is correct.
And she'll walk down, start walking down the steps, and then she'll sit on the floor with her feet dangling down and look back up. Rossi and I broke in here to figure out what he was up to, because something was fishy, right? You were not in here. It was empty. It was just his office. There was like some cables and stuff, but you were not here.
Okay, but then where was I?
I don't know.
Because that's where I was.
Actually, she doesn't say I don't know. She doesn't say anything, and she will look at Jojo.
After a while of awkward silence, he says, "You're in the basement."
Why would a Radio Shack have a basement? I don't understand.
Houses in California don't have basements, as far as I know.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know if that's true or not either, but I don't know.
I know houses in Florida do not.
Yeah, I think a place that has like tectonic activity on the regular wouldn't really have basements. But what do I know? And yeah, she would motion, "Come on." Dee Dee seems to know what's going on.
Dee Dee does seem to know what's going on. You all head down into this basement, and you see it is a little cramped in there. Shane and Jojo, it does feel arguably smaller than you remember, and you can see that there is evidence that the like it's. I believe it's the corner. The corner building is the Radio Shack. I think that's what I think I said. Is the left and right side of the basement there is evidence that there's a bricked up area with like recent cement. Not recent cement, but like it's definitely dried cement. It looks slightly different than the other ones, which would be likely where you found the tube, or other rooms beyond that. But it seems to have been repaired to be the size of the footprint above, essentially. But you see that Dee Dee has found hasn't really found, she kind of found it last time, but a false wall. You see that the basement, the dimensions look to be similar to what the proportions are above, but the front wall seems to be shorter than it should be. And you can see that a bunch of the drywall there has been ripped apart and made a hole. And you see that Dee Dee is exploring that hole, assuming that there is more behind that area. Dee Dee, you look through this hole, and you see what you expected to see. There are burn marks here. You see there are an entire like wall of computer banks. Those are either smashed with some sort of like a bat. You see that there are light bulbs shattered on the ground, and you see that there is a portion of the area that has exploded outward due to some sort of firework. There are scorch marks on the ceiling, scorch marks on the ground. A lot of the mechanical contraptions have scorch marks, or they're broken and shattered. You see copper coils sort of spiraling out of places. And you see there are two desks closest to where you can pop your head through the hole that had paperwork, and each had a desk lamp on them. There is a thin layer of dust, but it seems like more like soot than dust has fallen on that.
It's all exploded in there from after when we exploded it. And also, do you think I'm weird, Shane?
Good way to answer that. Yes, but in a good way. How's that?
Should we go in there?
Oh, almost certainly not. Are we going to? Almost certainly.
Okay.
Here,
and then she goes in.
Yeah, can I try to like grab her by the scruff of the neck and say, "Let me go first"?
Oh, you can. Roll me. I'll say this: both of you roll me a move.
Okay.
If you're good enough, Shane, you could try and stop her.
1.
Ooh.
Okay.
Matching ones.
So I will say this. Dee Dee gets most of the way in before you can grab her. So you can either let her go the rest of the way, or sort of, or I'll give you a force to try to pick her up and bring her back through the door.
Can I just hold her still while I catch up to her? Granted,
Only
it's like
one
2 steps.
person. Only one person
Okay,
can fit
got
through
it,
the hole at the same time. So I imagine like she has like her right arm through and her left leg through as she's trying to do that
she's like,
squirm. Yeah, and she's desperately trying to get the left arm through, but there's only enough room for torso and one arm to fit. So you have the back of her. So your options are let her go or yoink her back through the other side.
I will attempt to yoink her back.
Roll me a force.
3 successes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you just displace her out of the hole very
my-
easily.
You should have
John.
just said something, Shane. You told me to go through.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I said we were probably going to. I did
Alright,
not tell
okay.
you to go first. Let me go
Okay.
first. Okay?
Okay.
You can be right behind me.
Okay. Go.
And, yeah, and I will do I would assume that at this point I've had enough adventures with these jokers that I don't go much of anywhere without like a flashlight.
Yeah, a flashlight seems like an appropriate thing to bring with you places.
Then I will, peek my head in and shine the flashlight around.
You see exactly what I had just described to Dee Dee. Everything looks a little exploded, a little bit on fire, but there definitely should not be banks of computers and servers in here. And what you see, the most striking thing you see, obviously there's 2 desks. You like poke your head and there's 2 desks that have paperwork on them. You see banks of computers and servers down both sides of this wall, but you see a large device that roll me comprehend.
Nope.
Okay, you see a large device that like is vaguely circular-ish. Like at one time it could have been a circle, but you see that many parts of it are like dented in, and you see like dozens of like holes in it, not like puncture marks, but like as if they were sockets for something in there. You see copper wire sort of wound around this thing that seems to be like bent off at awkward angles, and you see a lot of cables that are just dropped on the floor that seemingly all sort of point in the general direction of this device that were, your best guess is they were like haphazardly yanked out of the machine.
Okay, I will very cautiously, as I've now taken a full step inside, I'm going to take Dee Dee's hand and lead her so that basically I have her almost like in the Heisman pose. Basically I have this hand on her left shoulder, this hand around her on the right shoulder, and I point her to the device. I point her at the device. Do you remember seeing that?
The portal device? Is that what you're...
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke it.
Does not surprise me. All right, what did you do?
Mike, help me out. I think I broke... There's like things around it.
Yeah,
and
there
I
were
broke them off.
cables going into it. You yanked them and unscrewed them off. There were like light bulbs and things. Those are either smashed or removed and thrown on the ground. You know that your buddy Humdinger blew up a portion of things with fireworks.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
But the fireworks were the best part, Shane. And she's holding his hand.
Yep.
She's
I have no trouble believing that.
Yeah. Charlie smashed a bunch of stuff with his skateboard. I believe Jessica spent most of her time looking at the 2 desks for like what the paperwork
And the papers on it.
was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
Did she grab any papers?
I want to say no. I want to say she had no understanding of what there was to grab, but she did look at it. And something that does stick out to you, perhaps it's it's being here where like, that flood of like preteen plus possible ADHD sort of things jump in and out of your brain. As you're like having that visual memory of smashing things and blowing things up and all this stuff, you remember fully who was here that day. And one of them was Mickey Duncan. the little brother of Billy Duncan. Billy Duncan, who is allegedly in that TV.
Yeah, Mickey was here. And inside of this machine, it was like a whole, you could see through it. It was really cool.
Wait, my brother was here? He's here with you?
Yeah.
What's
He
doing
was.
He's
here?
pretty cool.
We're still out in the other room.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you guys came down. Sorry.
Well, we know we came down, but we're not in the other room yet. So I'm assuming he hears her.
Oh, yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Yeah, you can hear us.
Yeah.
Dee only has one volume.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I have at least somewhat determined that there is nothing about to jump out of us from the shadows, I will lean back out and kind of
I didn't say
give
that.
to Fish and Jojo.
And she will look around and she will look at Jojo. Is this what it looked like last time?
No, there was loads of stuff in here, but not this stuff.
How does Dee Dee know? And she will walk over to the hole and then poke her head in. Can we get the TV through?
It's drywall, so like collectively, you can just
Okay.
break it. Jesus Christ. Jojo and Shane, this looks nothing like what it was like when you were here. There were rooms, there were tables set up. It looked like this place was like there was like power down here. You see no evidence of lights or plugs or anything like that. So whatever's been done here, you see like bare cement. So everything has been either bricked over or removed or whatever it was. As far as you can remember, there was a fully, it's only been like 2 months, but there was a fully functional like scientific laboratory down here. And there is no evidence of that any longer. All shreds of that have been removed. And the only part of that exists is now in your memory. But you guys see Shane is through the wall. I assume Dee Dee is clambering in behind him. And you guys can see there is another side of the room over there.
So you said there were like racks of computers and servers and stuff in here, along with
Yeah,
desks, right?
like imagine like imagine war games
Yeah.
when you see that like wall of computer
Yep.
banks, all like blinking diodes. That
Are they on?
no,
Okay.
they are
That's
all,
where the fireworks were.
yeah. Yeah, you can see that somebody ripped open one of the metal panels, and that's a large explosion happened there. So there's like glass shattered all over the place. There's like remnants of fire in that area, but somebody ripped open a panel, threw a bunch of fireworks in there, and then sort of bent the panel back, and then the fireworks went off.
It wasn't me, Shane.
That does surprise me. All right.
Well, Pop
let's-
says I shouldn't use fireworks.
Good. Yes. Listen, that's a very yes. Please.
Rule number
yes.
one.
I think we're up to rule number 12 by now. So I will. Okay. I basically move her in front of me and have her by the shoulder. Okay. See that desk over there?
Yes.
See the papers on top of it?
The ones that are burned up.
Oh, are they all burned up? I missed that. I'm
They're
sorry.
not all burned up. They are all covered in black soot.
Yeah, those. Let's have a treasure hunt. Okay?
Okay.
I need you to look through those papers and see if you can find anything about Billy Duncan or a video game tournament or anything about that sounds like super secret sciencey stuff. You take that pile and I'll take this pile, and whoever finds something first wins, okay?
No. And then she
Yeah.
leaves.
Fish is like, that's a lame game, Shane. And she's gonna put the TV down on one of the desks so he can see the room.
I'm making it up as I go along here.
Oh, that killed me.
And I will start digging into the other desk full of papers.
Okay.
You know.
So you dig into one desk. Dee Dee, where did you go somewhere? Did you do something? I just want to know.
I think she went right back out the hole.
Okay. Are you going somewhere? I guess is the better question.
No, I don't think so. I think she starts looking around in the empty room outside
Okay, cool.
until
Okay,
that gets boring, and then she'll go back in.
Okay,
She's not
I-
like leaving.
Yeah, I will come back to you before it gets boring.
Okay.
Fish and Jojo, what are you doing?
If Dee Dee looks her way or anything like that as she's passing from her pocket of her denim shirt, she'll pull out one of that super bouncy ball that she had, and then she will toss it to her as she goes by.
She'll grab it.
Yeah, and then she will turn back to the TV, adjust it so Billy can see the room, and then she will look at the papers on the desk as well.
Okay. And Jojo, what are you doing?
So from memory, Mike, we come down into a room, and at the back of that room is another room, which is where we are now. Where
Yes.
was
So essentially you come down to that room and the basement footprint would be the exact same size and layout of the store above, but there seems to have been a false wall to give the perception that this basement is shorter. There's something beyond that false wall.
Sure. And where was the Billy Duncan tube in relation to where we are?
You see on the left side of the we'll call it the main basement, on the left and right side of this, there is evidence that there was another room there that has been bricked up, and you see that there is some slightly darker like cement work that like it's if you glance quickly you're not going to notice it, but you who knows there was something there knows there's a different color between the two cements. It's completely dried and you'd have to like break it down with something like a battering ram, but the room that the tube was in seems to have been bricked over.
And that would probably fall underneath the store next door.
Correct.
That's safe to say?
Yeah. I'll give you this
Jojo
for free.
will-
You do not recall any other hatch contraptments anywhere else in this basement, like leading up into other stores. You don't recall seeing that when you were down here the first time.
Jojo's kind of standing and staring at that wall, the one that led to where he remembered Billy being. And after a while of everyone searching in the quiet, he just walks up and he rubs his hand across the wall, trying to feel if there's anything there, but assuming nothing.
No, you feel like there's that moment right where you like place your hand on it, and you can almost feel and hear the hum of like the diodes and the electrodes and all the machines whirring, and that you can hear like the blub, blub, blub of water from that tank. And like as you concentrate, you realize like that's just sort of like a flashback of what was once there, and the only thing you hear is the sifting of paper from the other room, the occasional dunk 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 of the rubber bouncy ball hitting drywall and cement, and your own breathing. There's no signs of warmth or anything coming from the other side of that. It just seems to be cold stone.
Eventually, he just bangs on that bit of wall and says, "That's where he was, in there."
And is there a way that we can bust it down?
If you had a battering ram or something,
it's
it's
a
a brick
soul
wall.
house?
Yeah,
It's
it's a well. So what I'll say is you see cement wall, and then you see a different shade of cement over that. So you know there has to be something there for them to cement over. You can assume that it's drywall and try to bash your way through with what you have, but it could also equally be brick.
Yeah. So, and looking at the ceiling, is there any kind of, because you said it's drywall, does it look like there's any way that we could get up and over
No.
the top? Okay.
As far as you can tell, without ripping any part of the ceiling down, no.
Can I roll investigate to see if there's anything that we're missing in here?
Yeah, go ahead, roll me investigate.
Okay.
Shane, you're also investigating, so you can go ahead and roll me investigate as well.
1 success for
Hell yeah.
Fish.
So I'm gonna grab my heart pendant. You're always the smart one. I need you to help me figure out what's going on. And I'm gonna use my iconic item.
I like it. Go for it.
You said this was investigate?
Yes, please.
Okay. I have no luck. I'm going to use my pride. My pride is I have no limits. I can always push myself harder. There's got to be something here. I just need to find it.
Okay, interesting. I will take that pride. So that's an automatic success and a use of your pride down. So that is one success for you, one success for Fish. Before I go dive, before I dive into describing all the science stuff, Jojo and Dee Dee, you are in the main area of the basement. Jojo, you are still up against that wall. Dee Dee, you are still bouncing a super ball. What are the two of you doing as you hear Fish and Shane begin to sift through all that paperwork that he asked you to help with, Dee Dee?
Between bounces of the ball, or actually what she's going to do is she's going to bounce the ball against the walls. And what she's trying to do is hear whether or not there's differences in the sound, to identify if there's anything else that's going on, some other passage or something else.
I love that. Roll me investigate. You described that, and all I could think of is from the perspective of an 80s kid, is when you play Legend of Zelda and you walk against the wall and you hit it with the sword, and sometimes the wall makes a different sound, and that's where you put the bombs.
Perfect. Where do we put the bombs? That's a good question.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me investigate, and we'll see what happens.
Oh.
Where's Hum when you need him?
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what Dee Dee's going to do, though? Dee Dee's going to put on her goggles.
Okay, cool. So instead of re-rolling, just roll me 2 extra dice. So roll me 2d6s, and we'll see if those are 6s. And then if you want to re-roll, you can re-roll with all of them.
Nice.
One success.
Got one.
Okay, great. So 1 success. All right, that leaves Jojo. What are you doing?
Jojo is eventually going to walk over to the sawhorse that's sitting there, and he's going to slam it into the wall.
Into the wall you were at before? Okay, roll me force.
Where they've cemented over.
Yeah, roll me force.
Let's go.
1 success.
Outstanding. Cool. So Shane and Fish, you are in these rooms. You quickly find out, talking back and forth, these are 2 separate desks for 2 separate people. Shane, you have found the desk that is, your best assumption is that these notes here belong to one Daryl O'Rourke. Fish, you find... It's like you made the same name when I called him Aiden LaBelle. You're like, fucking gross. That's a human name.
That's what Fish says.
Lork drop. Anyway, Fish, you see that you have a desk where the notes seemingly belong to one Dr. Kimber Lee. Shane, roll me comprehend, and Fish, roll me comprehend as well.
Nope.
One for me.
Okay. Shane, you don't understand what you're looking at here, like entirely. A lot of this, your best guess, this looks like technology, computer stuff, a lot of like engineering diagrams, and you've seen the inside of remote control. You've seen the inside of things like the circuitry boards. It looks like scientific annotation for computer engineering, like the internal guts of computer engineering. So it seems as though O'Rourke was researching and taking notes on the development of some sort of physical technology. What that is completely escapes your purview. Fish. Oddly enough, you picked a desk where you have some knowledge of what is here.
Really?
Not because you have researched this before, but because you have seen similar notes.
She pulls out her mom's journal.
Here we go. Let's make it hurt. So you pull out your mom's journal and you immediately start like flipping through pages because you know you've seen this somewhere before, and it's escaping you where you see this. And you begin to flip through a couple of pages, and you see what looks like maybe dime sized. I don't know how to translate that into Canadian. Like half a loony sized thing.
We have dimes. We have a 10-cent coin.
half a toonie falls out. So you see these like square or diamond shaped things fall out. And from where you are, they reflect what little light is in this room from Shane's flashlight. And they have like almost a rainbow effect. And they are the few remaining fragments caught in the binding of your book of the tessellated paperwork from Danny's basement, from Danny's other basement, as they fall through here. And you are taken back to that moment where you saw in the altar Danny's basement that there was notes on a device, and the device was very similar to one you had seen outside of the broken down mill. You recall seeing notes in the now disappeared home of the woman, the evil woman, as you said, with the camera.
That's accurate.
These notes seem to match some combination of what you saw in Danny's basement and what you saw in the evil woman's super secret garage that disappeared.
Holy shit. It didn't disappear.
The whole house disappeared.
It did. Yes, it did. But like after a huge freaking light went off, Shane wasn't there for that, but Shane was there for the basement, for the Faux Sorensen's basement thing.
But in this moment of recognizing these notes, you don't fully understand what these notes are, but they are they talk about like theoretical physics, so like space stuff, dark matter, like that kind of thing. And you've seen this kind of thing before in conjunction with tessellation, in conjunction with something called the neural net mesh. You've heard that before as well. It doesn't speak about that, but it speaks about things adjacent to that you've seen before. And it's at that moment that you sort of turn and you see the remnants of that circular thing that is smashed and all like the cables are broken, and it vaguely reminds you of a much smaller version of the thing in the missing house. All of the cameras were pointing towards a circular thing on the wall. This looks like a pocket version, a prototype version. You're not entirely sure what it is, but something about these notes and that now mangled circle reminds you of that woman's house. And these notes all belong to a Dr. Kimber Lee.
Shane! And she's gonna spin around and she's like standing right next to him. Shane! You're muted. Can't hear you.
Thank you. So Shane had kind of given up on his papers and was just walking over to kind of tap Fish on the shoulder. So she turns around and he is like right there.
Accidentally whacks him. Ow. Sorry. Look. And she's going to show him like the fragments of the thing, because he was there for that adventure in the Faux Sorensen's basement. Yep. Remember we saw those diagrams of those weird devices? I remember we told you about how they were pointing at a portal.
Yes.
And then she's going to point at the wall. That's what it was. Sorry, Mike, they were in the basement, in the garage. There was another device like that.
Yeah, you saw there was like a bunch of cameras that were pointed towards it that were all like slowly lighting up more and more, pointed towards this circular device. And it looks vaguely reminiscent of that. You guys didn't have a lot of time down there to explore, so like it could be similar. It's really a strangely cabled circle. It just in your mind sticks out as similar.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't look exactly the same, but remember how it was like we were in another dimension or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part I remember vividly.
Yeah.
All right.
What? And then the same thing happened when we followed this truck from the mill to the basement. Oh, sorry, to the garage. And it had the same thing.
Right. I'm gonna beckon her over to O'Rourke's desk. Okay, so it seems like this desk was O'Rourke's. He's been doing some kind of engineering something. I don't get it. Engineering, not my I run.
He had a lot of like programming manuals that we stole from his office.
So I will sift through until I can find like all of the engineering schematics.
Okay.
Can you make sense of any of this?
Roll me comprehend.
Ooh. Fish is not stupid, I'll remind people.
Okay.
She has 1 success.
We will pause there, and we will go to the other side of the room. Two things happen here in the other side of the room. Near simultaneously. Dee Dee, you are bouncing this super ball all around, everywhere you can possibly bounce this thing, seemingly randomly with no sort of semblance of logic here. But you're purposely hitting on spaces to try to hear the different sounds. You bounce this ball as hard as you can on the right wall. You hit the ground, it hits the right wall, it hits the ceiling, it bounces back down to you. And you hear the thwack of the pavement of the cement basement floor, and you hear a thud on the wall, and then it hits the ceiling, and you hear a thud again, meaning that the two places you just hit are hollow. You test this theory a few more times, and a sizable space, maybe the size of like the average door, is thudding on the wall, and a size that is maybe 1 foot by 1 foot square on the ceiling thuds as well, and then it sounds different in other places around that. So you begin to smash this against the wall, and you hear the thud, thud, thud everywhere you do, and then you hear a loud crash as Jojo has lifted here you go, G, clip this, the sawhorse, and smashed it against the wall. And you see the 4 legs of the sawhorse smash into the wall and stick themselves there. Jojo, you sort of wrench this thing down like a lever, and you pull a big chunk of drywall out of this, and you see, sure enough, there is an open doorway on the left side of the wall. Dee Dee's ball bouncing was on the right side, yours on the left side. You tear a chunk away, and you see that there is another room here that you absolutely goes underneath one of the next buildings, one of the next doors, and this room is stripped out of things, but less so. There are no items in this room. But any part that was like a desk on the wall, or like shelving that was in the wall, anything that was like part of the thing is still there, is still left there. It looks like they just cleared out whatever things were on the walls, any like technological devices, and you can see, as if there's like a superimposition, you can see like the bolts in the floor where the articulating arm was holding the tank. You see that there are like marks on the floor from this thing being like where it dug into the pavement, where it was shattered over. And you see outlets where there would have been things plugged into. The outlets are still there in this room. And you see that there is an exposed, there's no drywall on the ceiling. It's exposed, meaning that they must have pulled things down. But you do see wires running in there and a light bulb that was there. There's no bulb in it, but you see the light socket.
Unless anyone says anything to stop him, he would get the hole big enough and then step into that room.
Okay.
And just stand there awkwardly.
You can absolutely do that. Dee Dee, you hear this smash come from behind you. Shane, Fish, as you're about to look over O'Rourke's stuff, you hear this smash as well coming from the room behind you. What are the three of you doing?
I think Dee Dee says, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good. You did good. You did good, sad boy. But don't forget this place over here, because look, there's a hole. There's a hole here, and there's a hole over here.
Fuck.
Shane.
Yeah.
Shane, right here.
I will toss Fish the flashlight.
And she's like, because she's thinking it like hits her. She's like, ah, and she catches
Sorry.
And
He's out the door back into the main room, and
I think we're just on the other side of the room. Are we on the
You
other
are.
side of the
Yeah,
room?
we're just
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Jojo then, with Dee Dee telling him to smash other walls, stops before he enters the room, wrenches the sawhorse out, and just walks up.
And she's
Which
pointing
wall?
at the ceiling and at the wall.
All right, and he's gonna smash the wall.
Okay.
But don't forget there. Don't forget here.
All right, then he's gonna try and smash the roof first.
Okay. You take the sawhorse and you kind of grab it by its legs and you just smash upward. Drywall dust falls down over the top of you and anyone in the direct vicinity. Shane, you come out of the room as you just see you see what looks like Jojo enraged, just smashing the ceiling with a sawhorse as Dee Dee cheers him on in a fit of just anime violence.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Like everything here makes sense.
Yeah,
you begin smashing like the table part of the sawhorse into the ceiling there. Again, dust and debris falls down, and you see a small, maybe the size of like of a computer mouse, a small black brick falls down that was sitting on here. And you see that it has little like little feet, like you would find like underneath like like a TV stand, little tiny feet, meaning that it was sitting up on this thing. And on the feet, you see that there are slightly thicker than a needle, like a 00 gauge needle, sitting there that would have punctured in. You can actually see drywall bits in the needle. It's hollow, like it would be an injection, punctured into this thing, and you see what looks like the bottom of it is like almost like a speaker box, as if there were some sort of listening or speaking device that this thing is coming out of. And on the top of it, you see there are 4 antennas that have like little curl on them that sort of match where the feet are. And as soon as it hits the ground, you see there's a red light that goes pew and turns off.
So I will go over and pick it up. Are there any kind of buttons or switches or anything that...
There are no buttons, no switches. As soon as you pick it up and give it like a little shake, all 4 of the needles retract into it. And that's it. It seems to be lifeless in your hand.
I will... Jojo. And I'll toss it to him.
Jojo's still holding the sawhorse and drops it and tries to catch whatever he's
Sorry.
thrown.
I'm used to people being more athletic. What do you make of that?
Roll me comprehend.
That's not supposed to...
Actually, you can roll me comprehend
supposed to be in the
or
roof.
tinker.
Tinker would be better. Yeah, let's go Tinker. No successes.
You can push. You can spend a luck. Take a condition.
Let's use luck, Mike. Why not? We got loads of it.
Okay.
No successes. Wasn't meant to
No
be.
successes. Was not meant to be. Yeah, you see, this is like a 2-inch by 3 or 4-inch brick of black plastic. With like 4 little rubber feeties on the bottom that all have a hole in them, and 4 little curlicue antennas on the top, and in the dead center of the top there's a light that was once red. And on the underside it looks like Bosley's speaker box from Charlie's
Charlie's
Angels.
Angels.
It's that kind of thing on the bottom. So whether it was for voice output or voice input, you can't really tell without it being functioning. But that's what you see.
This might be what fish saw in the ceilings. I don't know. No idea what this is, man.
All right. And he will hold out his hands to.
Jojo throws it.
Overhand
he's
as
not-
hard as he can.
Dee Dee's gonna yank on Shane's sleeve. And then we'll look up at Shane with big eyes and say, "Can I have it?"
Shane is currently weighing the usefulness versus complete chaos discovery.
Big eyes.
You're not supposed to look that much like Lisa when you do that. And he hands it to her.
Dee Dee will start to take the thing apart.
Roll me Tinker.
No successes, but we're gonna try for some luck.
Right. 12 dice. Oh, that's your age. Sorry.
2
Dice.
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
12 dice.
No, that's her age, not her dice roll.
2 successes. 2 successes. Cool. You find you have like random bits of things on you. You find you as you turn this thing over, you see like a fraction of an inch, like a couple millimeters above the bottom. You see there's a very thin, barely there seam. And you rummage through your pockets, you find something big enough to like stick in there and sort of pry this thing apart.
It's a butter knife.
It's a butter knife, perfectly. It's one of Shane's butter knives. So you put this in there and you pop it out with the right
family
leverage.
silver.
Yeah, perfect. In case you run into a werewolf. You pop this thing out, and it looks almost like cheaply made Radio Shack plastic. Like there are tabs on it that are like sort of angled out, so if you press them in, they sort of clamp together, and then they pop back out and clip into little side pieces, kind of like the back of a remote control. But you pull this thing out, the top box slides up until it hits the spirals on the antennas, so it reveals like a good inch of the internal mechanism. And you can see that there is a small circuit board in here. You see the retracted needles in there, and you can they're actually spring loaded, so you could press one down if you wanted to. And you see that this is some sort of listening device. And judging by the fact that there was a red light on when it fell, and there is no longer a red light on now that it has fallen, presumably everything that has been said in this room today and in the last week has been heard by whoever installed this listening device. You have no idea how long it's been in there, but if it was listening when you were here with your friends last, they heard everything, and if it was active when you guys were in here just now, it heard everything.
She throws it against the wall.
It splinters into pieces. It is made of shitty plastic. It is destroyed. You see the spring sort of pop out. A couple needles bounce 3 feet across the floor. And you see the circuit board sort of laying there limp on the ground. The casing is shattered. And a few of the antennas roll towards your feet.
Yeah, so once again, she puts her hands up in the air in victory. And then she looks up at Shane for his approval, because obviously she knows that he knows she has just destroyed this listening device that belongs to the evil people.
So Shane has kind of a blank look of almost shock, but not quite on his face, and he very slowly reaches out a hand to give Dee Dee a high five.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, the bad guys were listening.
Well, that's less than optimal. All right, I'm going to look around for something like a ladder or a step stool or something that I can get on to look up through the hole that is now in the ceiling.
Okay. The only thing in here is the sawhorse that is in Jojo's hand. So I will say, Jojo, there was another wall that you could smash. Shane, when he's done, you can use that sawhorse to reach into the ceiling. And Fish, we'll cut back to you while the boys fight over a sawhorse. And we'll take a look at what you have. You look through O'Rourke's paperwork, which you are now sure is O'Rourke's paperwork. You seem to find that a lot of this are a piece of the puzzle clicks. You stole a bunch of notes that you could not read. You stole a bunch of books in various languages to include Swedish, Japanese, Chinese, etc. Something clicks. All of the books that you have stolen were all technology-based, VCRs, computer systems, all engineering schematics and that kind of things. You see components of this in his notes. It seems as though he was studying how various technologies worked in a way to create his own technology. You see that there is correspondence here between himself and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is a prestigious tech school, a prestigious nerd school. And you see that at least one of the pieces of paper here has a header from NASA, meaning that he was communicating, whether they knew why he was communicating or not. He was communicating with people from MIT and NASA, seemingly developing a new form of technology. And you also see notes that the notes specifically from NASA reference the LEAP project, LEEP. And later on in there, you see that it is referred to as the Large Expanse Extra Perspective Project.
Hold on. Large.
Large Expanse Extra Perspective. And when you put all of the schematics together in a way that sort of makes sense, you see an engineering schematic visual representation of what Billy Duncan described to you. There are gloves, there is a helmet, there is some sort of a suit situation, and it looks like a VR suit. It looks like haptic VR technology.
Holy shit. That's what she says, and she's like rearranging papers and
yeah, there are notes here, like scientific journal notes, published by a Jaron Lanier. I'll put that in chat for you. Discussing a device called the Data Glove, all one word. The iPhone, all one word and spelled like the actual eyeball, and the Audiosphere. These are published in like scientific journals. So it seems as though he was piggybacking off of other people's technology to build something. That is what you find. And obviously you hear the commotion happening outside as you do so. So we'll cut back outside and we see... yes, Billy TV is in the room. We see... Jojo, you have the sawhorse, and you know there's one more wall to break down, and Shane wants to use it to poke his head into the ceiling.
Well, when you phrase it that way, it sounds weird.
You know?
Unless Shane says anything, Jojo's going to try and smash the wall.
Okay, so hey, can I borrow that for just a minute? I want to see if there's anything up there.
Yeah. He places it down.
Thanks.
And he stands next to it to give a shoulder for Shane to use as a...
Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh. Yep. And he will get up on the sow house and shit. He pokes his head up through. I assume it's dark in there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just enough. It's just enough for you to like get up to your nose.
Yeah. Shit. Flashlight.
Fish, you hear him yelling for his flashlight.
Please.
You're muted.
She'll be like, well, how am I supposed to see? And then she will toss it out the hole and go back to her table.
It's just to Jojo, who's not looking. It just clatters on the ground near you.
I'm not climbing out the hole and climbing back in the hole. I'm gonna use the TV for light then. So
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
Yeah. Just turn
the
Billy
TV.
towards it.
yeah.
Perfect.
I'm like, shine the light over here.
It's like,
The glowing blue light of the Billy.
Yeah.
Turn on the light in that room. Turn it on. Dee Dee will grab the flashlight and flash it on and off as she's taking it to Shane and hand it to him.
Perfect. Seizure-inducing fun. You hand it up there. Shane, what are you looking for up here?
I don't know, but
Okay,
right
cool.
now I'm looking to see what I'm just looking to see to get the lay of the land, get the landscape, because I have no idea. I know that this technological thing that I still don't know what it is, fell down from here. But normally, when there's one piece of tech, there's more. He knows that much.
Sure.
So he's going to see if he can find first of all, see what's there just in general, and if he can find like any wires that look like they were once connected to the thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me investigate.
Sure, why not?
See what happens.
One success.
One success. Fantastic. You see nothing. You see the shattered pieces of the drywall here. There is no other pieces of technology in here. You can see there are not all of the rafters go all the way down to the drywall, like some of them are slightly longer. So you can see into the other areas of this. Not nearly enough room for you to get by. The rafters are maybe only like 10 inches apart from each other. There's no way to squeeze anything in here. If you had like a camera or some kind of like camera RC combination, maybe you could get in there. But everything in here looks normal. Everything in here looks actually relatively new. Is what I'll say. So the construction done on this basement and the construction done to clear out everything and repair the actual place seems to have been done at the same time. Meaning, based on your success on this investigation, this device was put here during the refurbishment of this. Meaning either someone snuck in on the refurbishment crew or the refurbishment crew works for somebody who could put this device in there. That is the piece of intel you get from there. But there are no cables, nothing under here. There's nothing under here that shouldn't be, right? There's like copper piping for plumbing and that kind of thing, but nothing in here that shouldn't be in here.
Okay, so nothing that looks like it was recently disconnected from a box device.
Not from that box. In fact, based on the quick turnover that you did of this device, and Jojo and Dee Dee, the needles all have drywall in them. Meaning it was probably stuck to the top of the drywall that Jojo smashed.
Got it.
So that's what you find. You kind of hop. Go ahead.
Yes, I will hop down and gesture to the saw house. All yours. Thanks. And I will, nothing really of interest up there except for the fact that it all looked new. And I don't think. It doesn't look like the box thing, whatever it was connected to anything. And I'll bring the flashlight back over to Fish.
Before Shane's even finished saying what he wants, Jojo flicks the thing halfway sideways and just spins the sawhorse into the wall.
Okay. So TD,
Shane will dodge.
You see Shane jump down with the flashlight and start making for the hole, and you just see Jojo spinning like a baseball bat towards the wall you were pointing at, and smashes into this thing. Same thing. The legs stick into it, and you can kind of grab it and sort of use it as leverage to pry off some of this. And what you see is a hallway that goes. It does not follow the construction of the building. It's sort of like if the building like L shapes, this goes straight. So that the building it takes an angle. This does not. It runs straight, and as far as you can see, it is dark in here. But it goes to the extent of your vision, and goes beyond. Your best guess is this is some sort of Russian spy-esque escape tunnel.
All coming together.
This was not here. Either this was like plastered over the whole time, and you never noticed it when you were down here first, but this was absolutely not here when you were first here.
Dee Dee would be so excited by that hallway if she saw it, but she's not paying any attention to it. She has taken a crayon to one of the big blank walls, and she's writing up on it, evil guys suck, bite me, and then she's just drawing a butt.
Perfect.
Big dick.
Jojo's going to keep prying away at wall to get enough space.
Yeah.
And as it's big enough to get a person, he looks back to Dee Dee and says, "Good find, kid." And he climbs through.
Okay. You find yourself in a cement hallway. It is probably, let's say it's probably like 3 feet wide. It's big enough for one person to get through comfortably, but not big enough for 2 people to get through side by side. So it's 3 feet wide. It's probably maybe 6 feet tall. So it's actually smaller than the basement. So you kind of have to, I mean, you're kids, so you don't have to like crane your head or anything like that. But it is, it looks, fully cemented on all sides, and it just continues down as far as you can see. And if you start to step forward, you can hear like your footsteps like sort of clack off the walls.
And there's obviously no light in here at all.
No light at all.
Pitch dark.
Yep.
He walks a few feet, feeling the wall, realizing it doesn't go anywhere. He comes back and looks through and says, "Do you want to get the flashlight?"
Are you talking to Dee Dee?
He looks to Dee Dee. To Dee Dee.
Okay. And she stops in middle butt drawing, and then heads back over to the hole. Can I have the flashlight? The flash, the fish.
I don't have the flashlight.
No, we threw it back in here.
Yeah, I brought it back to you after I was done in the ceiling.
As she's leaning over the table, like hunched over the table with Billy's TV illuminating the surface.
You see like fish is in like full science mode as she's like fully like looking at papers but like leaning close to the TV, and you can see that Billy is also looking at it like he can help at all. As she's using the light off of his white his like whitish blue room to like see what it is in here. And you see a flashlight, which is like bulb side down on the table 2 feet from her that she just hasn't noticed yet.
I'll take it and toss it back to them.
Snatch it and then toss it at Jojo.
Okay. Are you leaving this area, Dee Dee? You going back?
No, she's in the same room as you.
Yeah.
Interacting through the hole.
Okay.
Grabs it and then tosses it at Jojo.
Shane will kind of look back and forth from Fish to Dee Dee to the hole / Jojo, and back and forth before looking. You look like you're doing fine. Let's go.
I know I am.
Not you, her.
Fish, you have been distracted from your hardcore sciencing.
She's gonna.
Go ahead.
She's gonna look to Billy. Can you take off your stuff there? Can you just leave and go home?
I guess I could try.
Where is O'Rourke? When was the last time you talked to him?
Well, if I believe you, a couple months ago. But
okay, forget everything that I've said right now, or that we've been telling you for the past like hour and a half.
Okay, like a couple minutes ago.
And was that
like
before or after we started talking to you?
Before my fight with Raijin with you guys. It was I guess like an hour ago. I guess since I've been talking to you guys.
And she's gonna think back. What was he wearing?
In real life, when you saw him last?
I'm asking Billy what O'Rourke was wearing.
He describes him on the day of the tournament.
So he looks exactly the way we perceived him?
Yep. The last day he saw him was the day of the tournament.
That's
For
not
Billy,
the answer I wanted.
For Billy,
Mike.
it is October 11th, the day of the tournament.
Yeah, that's not the answer I wanted.
Well, I'm sorry, G. I'm sorry that I can only give you the facts.
God damn it.
He goes, yeah, he told me not to, but I guess nothing stops me from trying to.
Wait. Now I'm worried. Now, yeah, she says, now I'm worried that it's not going to do what I'm thinking. Shit. Do you have anything else hooked up to you? Other than
there's the gloves, there's boots, there was like a vest thing, and
hat?
like the helmet.
And what are they hooked up to?
A bunch of cables.
And where do the cables go?
I don't know, some computer thing, I guess, the video game.
Because back in the Radio Shack, we saw that the TV that had the NES hooked up to it had a lot of extra cables attached to it.
Okay.
Leading back. I'm sorry, I'm saying this to you, Mike. All these extra cables there were more cables than what were needed for the NES.
Isn't that weird?
Yes, and so they were all going back into the office, which prompted us to go back there. Fuck. That throws off my theory, though. Perceiving.
It's almost like things are connected.
Well, yeah, but not the way I thought they were.
Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're
I've
not
been
running
writing
the game.
shit. You can't fucking see it. I've been writing shit this whole time.
Guys, I'm sorry I fucked up as the game master. This is actually G's game, and her notes are correct. Whatever she said is right. My bad.
No, it's not right. If it's not right, it's not right.
I'm just paid to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a figurehead.
Literally.
But I will say, you hear this kerfuffle going on, and more smashing. You realize that your friends are destroying the place. And you see,
she doesn't care.
You hear Shane say, "Okay, let's go," and you start to hear their voices recede away from you as if they are leaving.
She's gonna grab every single piece of paper and everything that was the remnants of the tessellated paperwork from the faux Sorensens. It's gone?
It's gone. All the tessellation stuff disappears.
Fuck.
I just wanted to make that hurt for you. You stuck like pictures of your mom's notes in there and they all fell out and disappeared.
Yeah, that happened before.
Yeah. You haven't really opened that book since then, and a few pieces got caught and they fell out and disappeared now as well.
Fine. She gets all the paper, every single piece of paper on there in her notebook, folds it up in her notebook, jams it in her bag. She's going to pick up the TV and then tip the table over. And then she's going to lug him back to the other room.
Okay. You see that there, as you exit the hole, you see there's a hole to your right that leads to another room that looks like it has like workbenches and shelves in it. You see that the ceiling has been blown apart. You see a strange device scattered in pieces on the floor, and you see a large hole leading to a corridor that Jojo, Dee Dee, and Shane have all entered, and you see the flashlight sort of pointing down this corridor hole.
She's going to pick up the pieces of the destroyed device, stick them in her bag, and she's going to follow them, I guess.
Cool. You hear, so am I taking this off or what?
No. Wait. Okay. I was thinking that you were in another dimension, so you could just go home and everything would be fine.
God, everything you're saying is so weird and nerdy and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Shit in this town is weird, okay?
It's like you're reading out of a comic book. I'm still unconvinced this is not a prank. It could be very elaborate.
Trust me, if I wanted to prank someone, it wouldn't be you, Billy. Okay?
Why wouldn't it be? I'm like the most popular kid in town. Like I'd be the best person to be pranked.
Right. Okay.
Whatever.
You're kind of a douche, okay?
You're
No
kind of a
offense.
douche.
No offense, but high key offense. All right. And she's prompting like on her hip as she's walking, like carrying him like this. Like she's carrying a laundry basket.
So popular, no one remembers him. The four of you, just correct me if I'm wrong, but the four of you are entering this corridor and heading down to parts unknown. Is that correct?
Yep.
Cool. Jojo, you lead the way with the flashlight in hand down this corridor. It extends for you have no idea how long. You're in here for 10, 15 minutes. The only thing you can hear is the sound of Fish and Billy fighting echoing off the walls, and the sound of your collective sneakers slapping along the ground, and then any other strange noises that Dee Dee makes.
Also, Dee Dee also grabs Shane's hand and says, Shane?
No, what's up, kiddo?
Yeah, what's the difference between a kiss and making out?
Duration, I guess. Maybe.
So if I kiss someone, then I'm making out with them?
I think you have to use tongue with your making out.
Tongue?
Okay, this is a lovely,
Gross.
perfectly comfortable combination or conversation for me. Absolutely. So, why do you ask?
I don't know. Some people were talking about it.
Okay.
Who? Who was making out, Dee Dee?
I don't know. The kids are always talking about how like they're going around with this people and this person's going around with that person and they have a crush on one another and then they're like they're making out.
Really wish your parents were here right now. I am not.
You know,
this conversation.
Dee Dee, when you use your tongue, it's called a French kiss.
French kiss. Like the French people do it?
Yeah. Like, ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Not
ooh la la.
helping.
And then she repeats that over and over again. Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
I just had that anime thing where they pull down the eyelid and they're like,
That's how you make out. It's a French kiss. You just say ooh la la while kissing somebody.
Yeah,
and
you
a
just
French,
say
and a French Canadian kiss is when you say ooh la la eh.
yeah, ooh la la, eh? Ooh la la,
what the fuck?
Boudin, eh?
Well, at least you're fixated on that now. Okay.
Absolute chaos.
Ooh la la. Ooh la
Ooh
la.
la la. Oh no.
Yes, and as they're walking in between us all this conversation, Fish would be like, so this Dr. Lee, she's in charge of the camera devices and the ones that were outside the mill, you guys weren't there, but Danny punched us into another dimension and we popped out and then we followed her truck to her house where she had these devices pointed at the wall with a device similar to the one that was in there. And then all the lights went off on the cameras, a big flash of light, and then the house was gone and she was gone. That part I'm a little confused about. But then on the day of all those rolling those rolling brownouts at the school, we phased back out again, and we went to Danny's house, and we were in some faux Sorensen's house.
Yeah,
and his parents were there. Yeah, you were there, Shane.
Yeah, I was there for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Danny didn't exist, or he wasn't born, or something. And then we were in their basement, and we saw them building. We saw building schematics for that device.
Yeah.
That was outside our mill. And then we escaped and we popped back into our own reality. And
Dee Dee, it seems as though your friends and Shane's friends do just as many illegal things, and they also sound just as fantastical and ridiculous as your own experiences.
Nothing I said was illegal, Michael.
You broke into that woman's house. It was 100% illegal.
No, we didn't break in. The door was unlocked.
Nah.
And I tried stealing her cable. Is that cable that I tried stealing? Is that around? Do I see that cable? Is that type of cable? Yeah.
Oh, not in here. I mean,
damn
no.
it.
This just reinforces Dee Dee's belief that all rules are flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All rules are bullshit. Yeah. And then, so she's in charge of those devices and whatever that portal is, that's her area of expertise. And then Daryl O'Rourke, is into this AI thing and she gently taps the TV. He's developing some kind of technology that's some kind of virtual reality, which is what Billy here is experiencing. I found there was notes to like NASA and to MIT, that's in Boston, the big brainiac school where all birds go,
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been communicating with them, and yeah, they're teaming up somehow. And I thought maybe Billy was was in one of the other dimensions that we had kept popping into. So I was hoping that he could just take off his shit and go home. But he remembers O'Rourke exactly the way we did on that day. So I'm worried if he can't just take off his stuff and go home.
Well,
You want me to take it off?
Hold on.
No, don't take it off.
Okay.
You might just blip out.
What happens if he takes off
Okay.
if he takes off one of the gloves? And we see whether we can see his hand, or like if something weird happens to his
Mr.
hand.
O'Rourke was pretty particular about like an order.
Okay,
Really?
what was the last thing? What was the first thing he said to take off?
The headset. You put the boots on first, and then you put the gloves on, and then you put the headset on, and you take them off in the reverse order. He was very specific about it.
Don't take anything off. Or definitely don't take the helmet off.
Oh,
I think
guys
you
gotta
should
make
take it
right.
off.
Not until we see what's down this corridor.
Maybe we should run. We'd get there faster.
I agree.
Nope.
Run.
This time Shane is ready for it.
It's like a.
Nope.
Maybe we should run.
I thought Billy was going to be on the other side, but I don't think he is.
I'm right here.
She turns the TV, so she's looking at it. Yeah, right here in the same room with us, Billy. Hello? Come on. We're not in the same room as you either.
Okay, no need to be rude about it.
Oh, come on. Get with the program.
You guys continue down this hallway for about 20-ish minutes, going straight line. Doesn't seem to end. And then you eventually, Jojo, you see maybe at the extent of the flashlight, so maybe like 10 feet in front of you, you see a steel ladder leading up.
Can we tell what direction we would have been traveling in?
No.
Okay.
None of you are
It was a straight corridor, right?
boy or Girl Scouts or have a compass on you.
Don't I?
But it was a straight corridor?
It's
What?
a straight corridor.
So we can make an educated guess based on the direction of the building?
But
not
you are
necessarily
headed away
north,
from
south,
town,
east, west?
is what I'll tell you.
Jojo's going to climb the ladder.
Okay. You climb the ladder, and there is a submarine hatch, like the turnstile submarine hatch.
And sorry, one question is, because I was writing my notes, is this cement wall
Cement walls.
all the way around?
Yep.
Okay.
Jojo would open the hatch if you can figure it out.
You turn it. It's a quarter turn hatch. You quarter turn it, and you lift it up, and you see that it has a mechanism on the pivot point to like open up and stay that way, like trunk of a hatchback. And leaves fall in around you, and those of you at the bottom are have fall orange and brown leaves just sort of rain down. Only a couple of them, and you continue up. You are in a forest.
And it's
Whoa.
the leaves are as if it's fall.
Yeah, it's so in the fall the leaves will just fall down and it'll just stay there in the forest. They're just fucking there. No one goes up and cleans them. So as long as there's no snow or anything else on top, like piled on top of them, there's just
no
leaves here.
snow.
No, I know that,
correct?
but they decompose pretty quick.
Is it?
Not
Or at least,
here?
yeah.
Not
not
here.
that quickly. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
is it the same day as what we're trying to get at?
Yeah, it's still, as far as you can tell, there's no indicators, there's no calendar
Okay.
here, but as far as you
Okay.
can tell, it still looks like January. Sky looks the same, temperature feels the same.
We're not
you're
suddenly
in-
back in October.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
No.
Yeah,
They do not
that had
seem like
actually been
fresh.
my theory.
Yeah, I'll say this: if it were still the fall, they would be like golds and oranges and reds in color. They are varying colors of brown, like yellow, brown, dark brown. They have decomposed to that level, but they are still crunchy leaves. All fall down.
They all fall down. Oh my god. Okay.
No, we all fell down several
Ash,
episodes ago.
This is so rad.
Time's
It's
up.
like a secret tunnel.
It is like a secret. Are you all out of the tunnel?
Yeah, she's got. Like,
Jojo's climbing up.
she's holding the TV on her shoulder and she's like clambering up.
Yeah, love that. Dee Dee, as the I assume the second person out of this tunnel, you know exactly where you are. In
It's a
fact,
park.
if you turn around
There's
about
my tree.
20 feet from where you are, there is the park you were playing at
Oh.
just last week.
She scrambles up the tree.
You see Dee Dee sprint into the tree, into the woods, like she knows where she's going, and just climbs into a tree like a squirrel, faster than you can reach her, Shane, and she is way higher than you are comfortable with. Dee Dee, you climb to the top of this tree. Because you've done it before, I'm not going to have you roll for this. You climb up this tree, and you see the same sight as you saw one time before. A forest beneath you. You see the town, except what is different now, there is no fog, and the town looks normal. You can see the flashing, like, red and yellow and green of a stoplight. You can see cars kind of moving around. It seems like a normal day in Glenbrook.
No spooky figures.
No spooky figures.
That's not an ordinary day in Glenbrook if there are no spooky figures.
She puts the TV on the ground.
Why
Damn
are we in
it.
the woods?
She gives him a look. Not like no, she's not pissed off at him, but she gives him like, oh, come on. I thought this would be some kind of secret place. Not the freaking forest.
It's an escape tunnel, G.
So Shane will walk
Escape
over to the.
consequences.
If I'm at the bottom of the tree where Dee Dee has climbed, can I still see her?
Oh, yeah. You can see her feet. She's up like 20 feet.
Because I say Shane has done this enough that he's learned at least one trick. Dee Dee takes something out of his jacket pocket. I've got pop rocks.
Dee Dee scrambles right down. I don't see them. I don't see anything yet up there. There's no fog and there's no weird figures. It's all okay.
Cool. Okay. Thanks.
Pine cones.
She
and
snatches the
needles
pop
fall as
rocks,
Yep.
puts them all in there, and they're all in her mouth all at once.
It's the loudest sound in the forest. It's just the.
Yeah, she just sits there.
That is still the least amount of damage to herself she could potentially cause right now. So
Hey, can we go to the playground?
tomorrow.
But it's right there.
I know. We'll go tomorrow. All right. I don't think we're gonna get any other clues or anything here. Shall we head back down?
Whatever, she says.
She's so mad at me right now.
I'm not mad at you.
Jojo, you've been very quiet.
Yeah.
That's always bad.
Mm-hmm.
Jojo's a quiet kid, Mike.
Yeah, sometimes. Usually when not around fish. When around fish, he talks a lot more. And you've been talking like you're not around fish. So what's going through Jojo's mind?
Jojo's concerned that there's no fixing TV Billy, like there was no fixing TV Goo Billy. So he's just lost. Yeah. He's just lost in his thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah,
And his
Fish is
thoughts
sitting
lead
on.
nowhere.
Yeah, she's sitting on the leaves with her feet inside the hatch. The TV sitting on the leaves next to her. She looks at Jojo. We could get him to unplug himself, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Can you? She looks at Billy. Hey, can you call out for O'Rourke?
I can try. I'm not really sure how that works. Cause like I'm in here, like I don't know if whatever I say he can also hear in his office, or like if I'm just talking in here. Cause he had me put this on and like lay down. So like I'm not like actually running around and punching and kicking in his office. I don't think. The last thing I remember is I was laying down.
And so
he did tell me I could take the things off, but in that order when the game was over.
Okay.
I assume he can hear me, or there's got to be some way for him to know. Or he's watching the monitor, which is a really weird thing for him to be watching right now because I'm just sort of running around doing nothing. I wonder if he can see you guys on the monitor. That'd be weird, huh?
I don't know. That would be really weird. But there was a listening device planted in the basement there. She pulls out the broken pieces.
That's crazy. You guys are like weird nerd spies.
She nods her head. Yeah, we are. Told you weird stuff's going on. Maybe I don't know what else to do. She'll look at Shane. Maybe we get him to unplug himself.
One more thing to try. Duncan, you said that O'Rourke was watching on a monitor?
He said he was going to. I mean, I assume he's going to watch the game to know who wins, right?
Did he say from where?
He had one in his office when I was in there. So I imagine in his office.
Yeah. And we've already done a pretty good job of tossing his office.
In your version of the world, there is no office anymore. It's all a blank room.
Okay. And we've scoured it for secret doors, I assume. Okay. It might be our only option left.
I don't. She gestures. I was kind of hoping we'd get to some kind of weird computer lab room, like a control room. You know?
I mean, there were a whole bunch of computers in that room with desks, but they were off. I wonder if that was just if it was because the power was cut or because they've been unplugged.
You can the computers were smashed to shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dee Dee and her friends did a thorough job of destroying everything.
You're right.
And exploded.
Mm-hmm. Just if we kept popping with all the weird fluctuations that power fluctuations that have been going on, we kept popping in and out of our reality.
Yeah.
I was hoping that that's where him being tucked into these devices, that's where he was.
All right. If somehow he gotten into the computer like in Tron, then blowing up the computers would have either killed him or kicked him out, right?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't think he's connected to those things.
Yeah. So,
look, you guys are starting to freak me out. I'm just going to take this off.
She raises her eyebrows and looks at Jojo and Shane.
We got.
Jojo's just looking at Shane.
I have no better ideas.
It was my idea.
You know how it went the last time I made a choice.
Shut up.
Okay, cool. This has been
My responsibility.
super weird. You guys are still nerds. Shane,
She
you're
nods.
also now a nerd. I didn't know you hung out with the nerds, or the new girl, or children. But either way,
She's 12. She's not a kid.
Yeah.
and as
Your
always,
dad still bought your way under the team.
I won fair and square. And as always, fuck you, JoJo. You know what you did. And he reaches up to nothing, and you see him like grab like he's wearing something and lift it off. And again, you see nothing come off. And as soon as his hands extend above his head, the TV whoop, shuts off. The four of you hear as a car speeds away, and everyone can roll me investigation.
That motherfucking son of a bitch. That's G saying that, not Fish. 1 success for Fish.
And that's the only one we got as a group.
Fish, you snap your head to the side as you hear the rumble of tires, and you see a New England Positronics van.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Drive away. And that is where Winter Whispers Part 2 ends.
Now I'm mad at you.
Jesus Christ. Oh God, gee, I'm so sorry to ruin your whole life. So guys, that was the conclusion to Winter Whispers, our reintroduction back into the world of Glenbrook. If you are confused, that's fine. That's the normal state of being in Glenbrook. Glenbrook Chronicles is a definitely not a campaign anthology of adventures that takes place with the same 9 or so kids in the same town. I will let you know all of these videos are available on all but 2 of these adventures are available on YouTube. Note that there is not one congruent story happening here. There are many stories happening throughout Glenbrook, and these kids happen to bump into several of them. So do not try to make one single through point throughout this entire chronology here. There are many adventures, not all of them tie together. For example, this is the O'Rourke arc. But there are many in here. There's LaBelle, there's O'Rourke, there's Kimberly. There's a whole bunch of things happening here. The others, yeah, it's very fun. So if you are confused, go back, watch through them. There's only 16 episodes, I believe, of Glenbrook. This is episode 16, so there are only 16 episodes of Glenbrook Chronicles. So go check it out. There is a playlist over on YouTube that puts them in chronological order. So go check that out as well.
14.
You're right. There are 14. I was including Shadows and Secrets, the one of the offline ones, and A Very Glenbrook Christmas would make it 16. So there are only 14 videos. So go check them out. Get caught up and let us know your theories for what the hell's happening here in the Discord. But that being said, let's go around, do some introductions to these wonderful players, and then we're going to get out of here, do our after show that you guys can get access to over on our Patreon at the $5 tier. And in fact, I believe you can actually get the first week free if you go sign up over at the $5 tier. You get that. You get all kinds of other after shows for all of our other shows, get exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at what our characters, our players think is going on, things from their characters' perspectives, and a fun little recap of the game. So we'll start with our newest kid in town. Melissa, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, everyone. I'm playing Dee Dee Miller, known as Draftier in the Discord, not very much in social media. I am an aspiring fan artist. You can find my art on gameswithstories.com. And let's see, I also play in Age of Always, which is a mostly monthly Atari Twilight game with G and Chris here, and Mundus Novus, which is another one of our Patreon games, which is also somewhat monthly. And other than that, I'm following all these people. You can find me lurking in their chats and following all of their awesome creative endeavors. And I recommend that you do the same.
Hell freaking yeah. Go check out gamesandstories.com. Melissa has done character art for Dee Dee, character art for basically every person in Atari Twilight. People, all of the cast of characters in Mundus Novus, some for Void as well. So go check out all the amazing art. It is wonderful. And it all started with character art for...
Dark Fortunes.
Thank you, Dark Fortunes. My brain just completely shut down. Our podcast from during the during the COVID situation in 2020. So yeah, go check all that amazing art that she has done out. It is wonderful. With that, we'll turn things over to what is clearly my arch nemesis now. G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
No, I love you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You find me in all things unmade gaming in some fashion, either modding during the week or playing in all the Patreon games. We do have Age of Always episode 8 coming on December 9th, which is a Saturday, 2 weeks from now. And then you'll find me playing in the Mundus Novus game, which will be coming December 17th, which is a Sunday. Yeah, and you'll find me in the Discord. You'll find me on X, whatever, and yeah, and we'll all be at PAX Unplugged next week.
That's true.
Yeah.
Shouting at Mike for what he did to us in this episode.
Yeah.
Listen, this isn't nearly the worst thing I've done to you.
Not even close.
Is it?
That's true.
We'll turn things over to Trevor. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Thanks, Mike. Hi, I am Trevor, aka the Vitruvian Meeple. Quick shout out, by the way, to Elliot from Hermitage, PA. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can find me in Mike's Discord and a whole bunch of Discords, actually. Pretty much anything Old Gods of Appalachia related or Cypher System related, I'm usually at least lurking. You can find over on my YouTube channel, again, Vitruvian Meeple. We are playing a superheroes game using the Cypher System. It's a lot of fun, and it just keeps ramping up. It's awesome. Or you can find me on Mastodon at Vitruvian Meeple at dice.camp. But honestly, the Discord that I'm most active on is that guy's right there.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Sad Boy, aka Chris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro. You can find me in the Discord in all the channels, as well as the Patreon one-shots, the Patreon campaign for the Rise, and...
Oh yeah, the Rise.
Good she. At least I remembered.
Agree.
And Atari Twilight, Age of Always with Melissa and G as well. Yeah, that's it. Nowhere else. Just yeah.
Hell freaking yes. With that, I'll remind you guys, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel like these fine folks, go check out our Patreon. There's a tier for everybody. You want some behind the scenes after show stuff, you want some behind the scenes videos and blogs and all kinds of other fun content we're working on, or you want to come play with us if there are slots available. They're all over there on our Patreon. Go check it out. It is worth it. It helps keep the lights on, quite literally. And as always, this was an amazing time. Thank you guys for indulging me in my nonsense. But that's it from us for this one. Stick around. There will be another show coming up in about 30 or so minutes. But that's it for us today here on this episode. So from all of us, you guys, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.